and welcome to For The Drive. As you can probably tell, this is a funny looking car behind me. It's actually a van. As I've mentioned in recent videos about the fact that my business has had kind of go full circle, like full throttle into full time as of with the lockdown and being made redundant and bits and pieces. So obviously I use this van a lot with another work associate of mine to travel and get bits and pieces onto site and obviously carry all the tools around. Again, from another previous video, that I'm a big advocate of the TDI Tuning company because they have put a chip in the Jag, which is over there, and made a fantastic improvement of its performance, economy, just generally just made it a better car to drive and enjoy. So I have come back to TDI. I contacted them and said the fact that this van, although it's not really designed for speed, it's definitely drinking a fair amount of fuel and obviously hauling a lot of weight. What can they do? And they have very kindly sent another box for me to install, which I will be doing today. This is the bog standard 2.2 TDI engine with about 107 brake and about 207 pounds of foot torque. Obviously the figures once this is installed is going to be greatly improved, but this one is mainly going to be done for economy and obviously longevity, to make sure that we can try and keep it as running as efficiently as possible. This van actually is going away tomorrow for a week-long journey over to the west of the country, so basically it's going to be a perfect test to find out what this TDI box can transform it into. So let's get on opening the box and see what's inside. Right, so we have obviously the magical box that has everything inside it. This one actually, which mine, the Jaguar one, doesn't have because it was obviously quite a few years older now. This one we've actually bought is to have it's Bluetooth connectivity, so you'll be able to set up and obviously play about with it, hopefully, as we drive around. So that'd be quite interesting to play about with. And obviously we've got the harness correct for the right size engine, and obviously some instructions and an owner's manual. Oh, sorry, dropping the book. And an owner's manual as well. So basically, very similar kit to what I had with the Jaguar one. So the inside of this has got Bluetooth connectivity, which would be nice as well, so that'll be interesting. We'll try and get that up on we've got an iPad that we use for work, for jobs and things like that, so we'll hopefully get that set up once this is installed, and then we can go from there. So I'm just going to set the camera up on a tripod, get the bonnet open, and see how see if we can get this fitted. All right, see you guys in a sec. So obviously this is the engine. It's not really much to look at, I'll be honest, but it does a very good job of what it does. As I shall just allude you to the fact, obviously open the hood, close all doors and wait 5 minutes. If you are going to do this yourself, please follow these, because if you start screwing things up, it is only you to blame. Be careful not to attach the housing to the engine or close to any heat source. So again, you don't want to melt the blooming box, because otherwise, what a waste. So I have opened the hood. I will wait now about 5 minutes to get on with that. Also, the first thing it says, which is fair enough, is to remove this air box, which is quite simple. You just got to remove this pipe, take that pipe off, and then you basically, it's actually like pivoted off these rubber grommets out, and then you're done. So that's because we've already done that once before to find out the brand of the fuel rail, which, because the harnesses differ depending on which manufacturer. So we know how to do that, and then we will follow. So we'll catch up in a second once that 5 minutes is up. Right, so that is the 5 minutes up. Let's get going and taking this airbox out. Right, so that's it, airbox is removed. Locate your fuel sensor. So it should be, also have to remove the engine casing. So now that is the airbox removed as well as the engine cover removed, we can now quite clearly see all of our fuel rails, your fuel rail and obviously your injector pipes coming out. So obviously if we look through the fuel light, you've got your fuel sensor at the front end of your fuel rail, which is there. So let's unplug that and plug the harness in, shall we? So that is nice and secure on there, obviously connected in line now between the original fuel sensor cable and the actual fuel rail itself. So now I can attach this end to the TDI box. And there we are, that is connected to the fuel rail, and that is obviously connected now in. So obviously at the moment it's not powered. I keep saying obviously a lot, I do apologise. It is not powered, so there's nothing that's going to come on. I will just reread all of those instructions just to make sure that nothing's been missed. I mean, I followed the safety before we did anything anyway, but just to make sure that there's nothing that I've missed that we should be wary of before powering this up for the first time. So it would appear that I've done everything to the instructions. Literally it is just that one connector, a different, I suppose because of the different technology and maybe even just a different age compared to the Jaguar. The Jaguar had 2 different connectors to be connected up, but then it's a different engine, different style, and say it's quite a few years newer, it's about 10 years newer. So that seems to be all of it. So basically I just need to now reconnect, put the engine mount back, engine cover back on, remount all the sensors and the air filter, and then we can go and actually turn the key and see what happens. Right, so that is filthy work, but everything's back together. All the sensors are reconnected, and obviously all the air pipes for the air box is all done, with obviously the new TDI box is now installed. So I think the only thing left to do now is actually turn the ignition key on and see what happens. As you can see, no fault lights, no engine management, which is fantastic. Let's just go and have a quick look, make sure that this is all running still, it's all powered up. As you can see, it is running in the middle. So yeah, I'm just going to now cable tie that box somewhere safe. Again, it says in the instructions, make sure you don't put it anywhere too hot, because you don't want to melt the box or cause any issues with the electronics within. We also want to connect the Bluetooth to it, so again, when the iPad comes back, it's currently out on site, we'll get that up and running, go for a quick drive. So see you guys in a second. So we now have a tablet device with the TDI Tuning app installed. It's already trying to find a system, so we're just going to put the ignition on so the unit becomes live, and then hopefully we'll be able to connect it. There we go, successfully paired. So I'm just going to show you what it's showing. So it's actually telling you that it's on 4, which is what we said is the standard when you connect it. So it's in the middle of performance plus economy, and then you can play about with it. You can go up to 5, and actually I don't know if you saw that, but the LED literally changed live how to do it. And you can play about all delay timer, start timer, lots of systems that you can play about with. It's quite nice actually, but you can live change the settings as you're driving along, obviously adhering to the rules and regulations of the road, but yeah, you can do that. That sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun. I wish mine had this now. So I think let's start this up and actually have a test drive of this, and then we'll be able to get the first impression and see what it's actually like with the new box installed. So we are, as you can tell, in the van driving. I've got my lovely well, I'm the co-pilot, Justin, driving this. Obviously I've connected up to the device using the Bluetooth and the tablet device. Right, okay, I'm going to put this down to number 1. I'm curious as to whether it's actually any worse or not, or better.
Increasing power when you haven't got much power in the first place.
Yeah, but I put it to 1, so that's maximum efficiency, minimum power. Tell you what, let's
leave it on 4.
put up to 7.
7. No way.
I want to see whether it picks up better, to be honest.
Small difference.
Technically, you can just play about with it on the fly. It will just adjust systems to whatever setting I want. You can turn the system off from the app, which is quite nice. I'm not entirely sure why you would want to, but you can. And you've also got there's a timer. I will double check that. I think that might be from when it's on.
Okay.
One thing that also comes with most of the TDI tuning systems, which I explained on the video that I did with the Jaguar, was that it will learn a little bit how you drive, and kind of obviously will learn the vehicle that it's connected to help like manage and maximise what the option you pick for. Cool. I don't know what that actually entails. I mean, I'm not the programmer, but the read up about it when I first found them was that it will try and be intelligent and learn what it's doing.
Overtake when you don't usually overtake. Quite nice.
Successfully installed, very happy with it. Seems to be giving definitely more go, and with a week or two of driving, long motorway miles as well as a bit of in and around town. Hopefully that will give us an idea of any sort of efficiency returns as well. So I will see you guys in a few seconds. So I just want to quickly update you guys about the TDI tuning box in the Mercedes Sprinter van. As you probably saw only moments ago, it was fitted with no problems. We also did a quick test drive almost immediately afterwards, and there was a significant difference in pickup. Obviously fuel economy is a bit of a longer term, kind of trying to find out how much better, but it definitely was working. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the van was going to spend about a week down West Country, so it was a fair amount of miles down there and then sort of travelling around, and then obviously a big journey back. Absolutely fine going down and all the way around Devon. On the way back, an engine management light did come on, which is obviously not ideal. So we got it back, quickly connected up to a PC or computer and checked the codes. I did send an email to TDI and had a phone call the same day from the technical department asking for the full codes and all these kind of, asking for all the information. I think one was the math, maybe one was the, I think it was a camshaft sensor, bits and pieces. Nothing that was obvious, like, oh Leo, that's definitely that, because that box only connects to the fuel rail. So there was always a chance that with the math I might not have connected it back when I put it back together. I don't know. First off, they gave me a few instructions. Like, turn it down to 1 instead of leaving it at 4 or any higher. Turn it down to 1, run it for a while, see if the engine management light comes back on. If it doesn't, then turn it up to 2. Basically kind of trying to see if there's a certain point where the boost and the extra performance that the box can give it is then throwing out other things. One thing I noticed when I went to connect to the app was it was also having a bit of fun and games with that. The app was struggling to connect and wasn't showing the right settings and bits and pieces like that. So I relayed that to them again in an email, and they just said no, send it back. We're going to take it apart and have a look at it properly because we're not happy with this. So that day a ticket was generated to come and collect it the next day. So all I had to do was take it off the van, put it back in its box, they collected it, and then within 3 days I had an email saying it's on its way back to you, connect it up and see what happens. They checked all the hardware, it was absolutely fine. There was no breaks in the cables or anything like that. All worked and functioned perfectly. The software, they flashed it and reinstalled a whole new map on it. Like basically just wiped it, started again, so they knew it was up to date with firmware and things like that. And they also tweaked the maps ever so slightly to try and alleviate a repeat of the fault codes that we've had in the past. So I mean, I can only say that TDI Tuning, the customer service and the response is out of this world. They really have outdone themselves with the response. Just knocked it out of the park with the customer service and just said, no, we'll take it back, sort it for you, and obviously send it back straight back, all for free. They did all the courier servicing, all out free of charge. So yeah, I cannot thank them enough. I think they've really cemented my faith in them as a brand. Not that I had any worries anyway, but it really has made me respect them so much more. So yeah, fantastic. It's on the van, it's working fine. I put it at 2. We tried it at 1 for a couple of days, and it was working fine, so we put it up to 2. We're going to run that for a little longer now, just to make sure that it's all fine. But I'm pretty confident that we'll be okay from now on. As I say, it could have been pure coincidence that the tiny little thing threw out the sensor and that's it, it's throwing up a fault code. I mean, they can be quite fickle sometimes, and the sensors are not infallible. So that is it, I think, to be honest. So I wanted to give you guys a quick update to kind of just finish the video and kind of praise TDI Tuning for their customer service, because as I say, they've done fantastic. So thank you very much for watching. Head over to TDI Tuning's website to see if they make a box for your vehicle, because I definitely think it's worth it. But yes, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you guys later.